Color me shocked. Slender the Arrival is coming back. We are getting another Slenderman game in 2023. I made a video about this like last year, about why the Arrival would never get a sequel. And that video is ironically blowing up right now. I made other videos talking about how the state of Slenderman and that mythos, and how we're unlikely to see anything from that ever again for a long time. And lo and behold, out of nowhere, Blue Wild Studios updated their Facebook page, updated the Steam page, and updated their website. Slender the Arrival is getting a remaster. There is a countdown on their website for the 28th of July. I don't know if that's a countdown to release or to the actual reveal. All along I was thinking it was a countdown to the release, but since they haven't said anything about the game yet, maybe it's the actual official announcement? Or they could just shadow drop it on that day, I don't know. I hope the announcement, because if they shadow drop it, that would be to the game's detriment. But anyways, who saw this coming? I didn't. I am very happy about it. Yes, I would love a sequel, and this isn't a sequel, it's pretty obviously not. This looks like a remaster, because it's obviously not a remake, because as I discussed in that video before, the copyright for Slender the Arrival in particular was an absolute nightmare. Everyone hated that situation, everyone that was making the game. And the copyright that Blue Wild have is only for Slender the Arrival. They only have the Slenderman trademark for that game, which means they legally cannot make a sequel. Which means a remake they can't do, because that means changing the game, which they also can't do if it's a separate game, which means a remaster. This is a remaster, and you can tell anyway, because that's literally the ending from Slender the Arrival. That entire scene is the exact same. That's Charlie, just with a different model, and the environment is up-resed. This is a remaster. The Slender the Arrival Steam page is also updated. The file size and stuff for the Arrival are updated, which means this technically isn't being classified as a separate game, which means this is a remaster. I don't care. I'm excited. We're getting something Slender. No one ever expected Blue Wild Studios to make another Slender game. So I will take this. Yes, I would love a sequel. A sequel would be the best case outcome. But considering Sony owns the Slenderman rights, that's unlikely to ever happen. But a remaster, I'll take a remaster. I genuinely believe it's the same game. Plus the artwork that they have is literally the Slender the Arrival artwork, just slightly updated. Put Slenderman on fire, which is why some people think it's a sequel, because it's like post-game stuff. But no, I'm here to set your expectations. This is a remaster. But specifics aside, my jaw dropped when I saw this. It came out of nowhere. I opened up Facebook and I saw Blue Wild Studios posting a video of this. I've always wanted another Slender game, and it's funny because 2023 is the year of horror making a comeback. It feels like 2012 again. Resident Evil 4 just came out this year, a remake. Dead Space remake. A new Amnesia game just came out. And now there's another Five Nights at Freddy's coming out, by the way. And now Slender is coming back to take the throne. I can't believe it. I am excited. I hope this game gets traction. I'm sure YouTubers will play it, and I'm sure it'll do decently well. It won't be the runaway viral trend that it was back then. In fact, it might do decently, but I hope it does enough to show Blue Wild that the fans really appreciate this. This is massive for us. It has been the last time anything Slenderman really happened was... You had the Slenderman movie 5 years ago, and then the Marvel Hornets comics started in 2020. Not many people know about those. And I believe Everyman Hybrid recently came to an end like last year, and Tribe 12 and a few others are still going on, but their main audience has long gone. There's nothing really there. Slenderman, if you can call it a franchise, is kind of dead at the moment. So this is really the only thing we have. And so that's why it's a massive shock. I'm really excited for this. I hope it comes to Switch. Slender the Arrival, the original, is on every platform under the sun. So I imagine this game will eventually come to that. I have a feeling, because it looks very next gen, it'll probably be like PS5, which would make sense because of Sony. PS5, Xbox, PC, and then maybe Nintendo's next generation system, and then they'll port it to Switch. I think that's how they'll go about it. But regardless, I am very excited. As I keep saying, like, I'm a big Slenderman fan. Sure, I haven't watched like all the web series, and I only watched Marble Hornets there during the pandemic. But I've made a few videos on Slenderman. My whole video on the Arrival, my video about a cancelled Slenderman game, which I made that out like it was an official sequel. It was actually a fan game, so in hindsight that's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. The movie, obviously, I didn't make a lot of videos about that. I think I just made like one video reviewing it and maybe something about a potential sequel and the deleted scenes. So I haven't made a lot of videos about them, but I do and if you watch those videos, you'll see it yourself. I do genuinely love Slenderman. He is my favorite horror character. For something so simple, and for a character that half the time doesn't even move, there is so much that's done with him. He is genuinely a really interesting concept to play with. And that's what makes the story so fascinating, because it's less about him and more about what he does to everyone else and the sort of disasters that come up as a result of that. He's just a really fun character. And also, on a personal note, it's kind of a funny story, but I almost feel like a weird personal connection to him, because when I went on my like Slenderman obsession over the pandemic, I started having a hell of a lot of dreams about him. I started having weird dreams that were recreations of events that happened during that day. Everything being the exact same, except Slenderman would be there at some point. So he was invading my dreams. So like I was having this weird, surreal experience at times. So Slenderman became embedded in me for a time. But and that was around the time I was making all those videos as well. But yeah, there's not much to say right now. I will leave it there. When we hear more about this game, I will obviously talk about it. As I said, temper your expectations. It's going to be a remaster. If it's a remake or if it's a sequel, amazing. That'll be incredible. But we'll see. We probably won't find out till July 28th because they're not saying anything yet. They haven't ruled out the possibility of a sequel, sure. And maybe they did sort out the rights. But bear in mind, this is the 10th anniversary of the Arrival this year. And all the footage so far is from the Arrival. But it's the models and the environment are updated. This is a remaster. They're not going to alter the game to be a remake. It's going to be the exact same content. Which, obviously, that is kind of disappointing because the Arrival's biggest problem is that it's stupidly short. The game is an hour and a half long. You can beat that game in under 2 hours. That's criminal. I think that's a big part of why a lot of people were disappointed back in the day. So obviously, the main thing you would want is for them to add content, make the game longer. Jesus Christ, like if anything, just make the game at least 4 hours long, but I don't know if they legally can. I don't know if things with Mark Parsec, who did Slender the Page, I don't know if they sorted out the legal problems there. I'm sure Eric Knudsen, who made Slenderman, would be fine with it, but I imagine Sony also presents a huge hurdle. And the writers of Marble Hornets, and there's too many hurdles there, and it might be impossible. This could be the only Slender thing you see. Now, if this game blows up, you could see more. And that's why I implore you, if you are a Slender fan, particularly if you want to see more of the Arrival or just Slender games in general, support this game. Dear God, support this game. Watch the YouTube Let's Plays. If you can buy the game, buy the game. And just leave them messages on social media telling them what you think about the game. Because, sure, they see all the comments about a sequel. But it'll really come down to if people buy this. It's easy to say on social media that people want something. But will words translate into actions? It's time to show them that we mean what we say. We need to support this game and show them there is still an interest for Slender Man over a decade later. And so, that's where I leave for now. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of the return of Slender Man? Have you played Slender the Arrival? What did you think about it? What do you think about this remaster that's coming out? Are you excited? I want to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section below. And yeah, with that all said, thank you all for watching and please subscribe. Novus Corvius out.